Hey everyone, Sean O'Connor here from the Cobb Daily, and I am so honored and lucky to have two incredible people with me today. I have got Lauren and Jason from the Twisted Spine Bookstore. Now, this is New York City's one and only, if you can believe it, horror and dark literature themed bookstore in all of New York City. So when I met these two, I knew that I absolutely had to get them on air and get the word out about this miraculous and incredible bookstore. So, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. How did this come about?
Well, like you, we were also shocked to find out that there wasn't already a bookstore in New York that didn't have, horror, or dark literature.
Right?
As someone who's a big fan of the genre and also finds that horror is a very inclusive genre, a place that a lot of different minority groups can get a start, and it's something that I've really grown to love a lot, especially in the last couple of years, as there's been a huge resurgence in the amount of horror that's been coming on.
Oh, yeah.
We decided to make it a project, and it was just something we really felt we wanted to find a place to support the community. And it's also, I think, a genre that sometimes is overlooked and maybe not necessarily gets the respect that it should deserve by others in the literary community. And that's also something we wanted to highlight. There's a lot of really amazing literature that you can find. And also if you just want a good flat slasher type, book for the Halloween season, there's a lot of awesome stuff for there too.
Yeah, this is that time of year, right? I mean, spooky
Yeah.
season is upon us. So, Jason, let me ask you. Well, let me ask the two of you. How did you team up? How did this partnership come about?
Yeah, so I think that it was kind of an idea that had been around in my brain for a while and something that I was really interested in moving forward with. Jason, as my partner, was also really interested in moving forward. And so he's been super beneficial, especially as someone who's a lot more cinema knowledge. I think that my strength is probably more on the literary side, but I think a lot of people also find their way to horror through horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
That's also been very beneficial in order to be able to uh, promote the widest group, because we wanted to be very inclusive and be able to support everyone who likes every aspect of the genre. And also, I think on the graphic novels side too, Jason is also a lot more versed in what's going on in that area.
So, Jason, let me ask you, how much arm twisting did it take to get you involved in this enterprise?
Actually, none. I'm actually a native New Yorker, so I've grown up in the city. My mom still lives in the city, and just growing up, I remember like spending hours in bookstores.
Yeah.
Just you walk into a bookstore and you just get lost in the stacks. You don't know what you're gonna find, and that's some of my best memories. And um, in I think like in the internet age, we New York saw like less bookstores than normal, but now there's this sort of resurgence. And
Yeah.
when Lauren mentioned her idea of opening a bookstore that's more dedicated to horror, dark literature, genre books, I thought it was a brilliant idea. We love the bookstores that already exist in the city. We've gone to Mysterious Bookshop and the Rip Bodice, and those bookstores have a great place in the literary community in New York. So it
Absolutely.
seems like the perfect fit. And New York's scary, so
Yeah, in the
in
best
the
way
best
possible.
way, New York can be really scary sometimes.
You hit the nail on the head when you said the experience of getting lost in the stacks. Jason, like yourself, I tend to lean toward cinema, but I'm a reader at heart, and when I really do truly think about the immersive experience of getting lost in a really good scary novel. I mean, just recently, oh my God, Josh Mallerman, if you're listening, I'm sending you my therapy bills because his new one, all my incidents around the house, it is just like I'll be okay, and then the terror will just hit me in waves. And I've already finished the book weeks ago.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Lauren's mentioned that you just what did you just read? You just read something that you said you had to put it down because it
Oh,
but
well, I didn't believe people on how intense Nick Cutter could get in his books. And
Oh,
so I was reading The Troop and I was on the subway and I had to stop reading because I was starting to feel a little woozy during some of the passages. So, yeah, I mean, if people who are interested, I think people think maybe that a book can't translate the same way as like a movie can, which is definitely not true. I think you can get just as intense in the passages if that's something that like
Oh,
that people like.
absolutely, absolutely. I can when I was living in Queens, this is a million years ago. I can remember like it was yesterday. It was Stephen King's Dreamcatcher, and I had the hardcover, and I would take the subway every day into Manhattan, and picture me holding onto the pole, trying to balance Dreamcatcher. But I was so wrapped up in it that it was like the world disappeared around me, and that's the truly immersive experience. And Jason, the same thing can happen with a fantastic movie. You just lose yourself, and those are the moments that we try and capture. So I guess what I'm trying to say in my own unique blathering way is thank you both for what you're doing, because New York City absolutely needs this. Mysterious Bookshop and the Rip Bodice and the Strand. We have got fantastic homes for books in the city, but boy, oh boy, the horror community, it is people don't understand how massive it is and what a need there is for great homes to find literature. So I'm just absolutely thrilled that I found you. So let's talk a little bit more about that, because I know right now we're just online, but you guys do pop-ups and events. I met you guys at the most recent event, which we'll get to, but talk to me a little bit about the pop-ups.
So you actually, I'll let Lauren talk about this, but you actually met us at the very first event, which was very,
Yes, yes. Yeah,
yeah.
so that was our very first pop-up event. Yeah, and like you said, I think our ultimate goal is to have that brick and mortar space. Like we're bookstore lovers. We want that to be a place that people can come and find that kind of sanctuary from, the craziness of life in general. I know
Yeah.
for me, if I'm having a bad day, some of the best ways to cheer myself up is to go to a bookstore and just wander around. And I want that for people who love the horror, genre. We're trying to be smart about it, trying to make sure that we can build the community, get people excited. New York City's can be a little daunting in order to be able to break into the rent game. And
Yeah.
Just get
so
people
the
to
way
know
we're
us.
doing it
Sorry.
is to start with trying to do pop-up events. So we met at our first one. We had one at Wild East Brewing. We did a collaboration with the Brooklyn Horror Society, which is a lovely group of people. And we are going to be at the Brooklyn Book Festival in a couple of weeks with a table, and more
Great.
stuff to come in October, TBD. And so the whole idea is just to kind of get out there, be in a physical space, because that's what we love about looking at books as well, and with ultimate goal to be able to get that brick and mortar in the city.
I love every word of that. And I know that there are so many readers and listeners who are hearing this for the first time, and they're getting so excited about that, because we really do need a home for it. Um, I'm thrilled by the aspect of having an actual brick and mortar, but I agree with you. New York City is a little daunting in the rent game. So fingers crossed, and any help you need whatsoever, you just reach out to us and we'll see if we can make some magic happen. But while I have you both here, I've got to put you on the spot. And I apologize, because I should have let you know I was going to do this ahead of time, but I like torturing people. So, okay, I need one book recommendation from the both of you. What is just absolutely knocking your socks off?
It's hard to choose just one. That's the torture.
You know what? I'll give you, if
We're
you want to do a top three, have at it.
uh,
So maybe I'll start. So in right now is just the start of Hispanic Heritage Month, and talking about really awesome how you can find horror across all genres. Across all backgrounds. I would say there's some really great books by Sylvia Moreno Garcia.
Oh,
I particularly really loved Mexican Gothic, which, slight spoiler alert, is fungi horror, which is like a kind of a newer subgenre that's been fun lately. And Jason, I think you read Silver Nitrate by
I
her
did.
recently, right?
Yeah, if you love horror movies, that one would be excellent, actually, because it all takes place in sort of the 80s or 90s sort of film community in Mexico City, I believe. So,
yeah. I read that as well, and you really do. She does such an incredible job of making you feel like you really are in Mexico City at that time.
yeah.
I
And
love
yeah,
that book.
and with all the sort of callbacks to the state of cinema at that time, that specific time in the '90s, but also a lot of the characters came from the silent era, which is
Yeah,
always any book that's about silent horror movies is fantastic.
that's right up your alley. Me
Yeah,
too. Me
sign me
too.
up.
I'm going to let all of our readers and listeners know right now. I cannot believe that that was your first event at Wild East Brewery, because you two look like the most seasoned professionals. You've been doing it your
Thank you.
entire
Appreciate
life.
that.
At one point, the table was never, there were never a lack of a crowd in front of the table. It was always packed. At one moment, because I wanted to talk to you guys, but at one moment I looked over and the two of you were almost like auctioneers. You were like, I got a book right here, and I got a, and here's a sticker for you, and here's a sticker for you. It was incredible. So seeing that kind of love and fury, for horror and what you both are doing I got such a kick out of it.
I
But
mean, we
you
have
both,
to we have to give credit. I know Lauren mentioned Brooklyn Horror Society, who we presented the event with, but them and us, we had a great lineup of authors for the day. So
oh
so
yeah,
we had an incredible lineup. We had Nat Cassidy, Clay McLeod Chapman. We just had a bunch of newer authors that I don't think a lot of the audience there had heard of, and they all did readings. People came, and as soon as they were done, they would rush out and buy their books.
yeah,
It's just goes. It's a testament to the quality of writers, and they were all local writers too. So the quality of writers
Yes,
we have in
everybody
New York.
was. I think the farthest was New Jersey, so everybody
Yeah,
was in the area.
and that's what I love, supporting the local horror community. And the authors were dynamite. One
authors of
was nicer
Dynamite.
than the next.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
Yeah,
it it really does dispel the myth, because I don't know if you experience this, but I hear it all the time, because my friends, family, coworkers, they all know that I'm immersed in the horror community, and they're like, oh,
yeah.
what's it like I damn near get murdered every day, and they're like, what's that like? And I'm like, it is a group of the sweetest, nicest people that you're ever going to meet in your life.
and
Exactly. Yeah.
we were terrified. I think. I mean, I can't speak for Lauren, but I was a little terrified going into it because we had never done an event before. We had no idea if anyone would show up or if we were underprepared, overprepared, and everybody we met was so nice and so supportive, uh, and so enthusiastic
Yeah.
about being there. We had a few people offer to to be our new employees, and which we'll definitely keep an eye out for. Once we get to that brick and mortar space. It was the most wonderful experience for us.
You two are going to have a line around the block with people that want in. Are you kidding me?
We hope so.
Stop telling people that was the first event that you've done, because you look like you've been doing it for ages. 10 out of 10, no notes. You
Thank
two
you.
are remarkable. I cannot believe that that was your first one.
And our next event, I think Laura already mentioned it, we will be at the Brooklyn Literary Festival in just a week or so. I think that's
Fantastic.
Yep.
September 29th. And we'll have a table there all day and not just
Excellent.
3 hours. So that's very exciting for us right now. Getting ready for
Yeah.
that.
Please, listeners, go out and meet these two. They are as nice in person as you're seeing right now. They have fantastic merchandise to sell. The books are incredible. They're passionate about what they do, and it's infectious. So please go out and see them. And one more time, Jason, you are going to be, in a few weeks, you're going to be at?
It's the Brooklyn Literary Festival. It's on
Perfect.
September 29th, and I think it's near Borough Hall in Brooklyn.
Oh,
So,
come on. What could be better? September 29th, you know it's going to be a picture perfect, gorgeous late September day. Get out there, buy some books, meet these two, and have some fun. And you never know who you're going to meet. I turned around at the table, and there's Grady Hendrix, at the brewery.
he came, and we were very surprised.
So it's an exciting time. I absolutely love the Twisted Spine. You're going to get probably too much of my money, you know, because I love supporting local merchants. So yeah, all right, you're my one-stop shop for horror from now on. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, we'd love that.
It's fantastic meeting the both of you. This is, now you're kind of part of the Macabre Daily family. I like to say that we're like the mafia, except no violence or drugs or crime, but just lots of hugs and support. So how's that sound?
A scary hug mafia. I love that.
Exactly. Exactly. Fantastic meeting the both of you, or seeing the both of you again, I should say. And everyone, the Twisted Spine Bookstore, is it thetwistedspine.com or twistedspine.com?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's actually twistedspinebooks.com.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Lauren. twistedspinebooks.com. It will be in the show notes. It will also be in the article. And please visit that site. You are going to be blown away.
Thank you so much. It's been so great
Thank
talking to
you.
you.
Absolutely. It's great seeing the both of you.
Likewise.
Take care. Sean O'Connor
Take
from
care.
Macabre Daily, the Twisted Spine Bookstore. Get to buying, people.
Bye.